agree with what I said, make a note of it, go check it out, go do some research, and then get back to me later. And say, I listened to what you said, and I didn't agree with it, so I went and looked it up, and here's what I found. And then I will go check it out, and if I'm wrong, I say, you know what, man, you're right. Thank you for correcting me, because I'm not omniscient. That means I don't know everything. Okay? But you can rest assured I'm not going to stand up here and open my mouth and say something unless I have done some homework on it. Yes. Are we clear? Yes. I got too much respect for you to do that. Let me continue. Today's topic for lecture is Kemetic spiritual preparation in times of crisis. Your true armor for warfare. Now, so that I know who I'm talking to, how many people here came up in a Christian background? Let me see your hand. Okay. Okay, cool. How many are from a Islamic background as far as your philosophy? All right. Okay, thank you. Any other background? You didn't come up in a Christian background? Yeah. Okay, all right. See, the reason why I say that, see, especially dealing with, as a psychologist, you have to understand something, family. Even though many times we step away from something, the ramifications of the programming or the mold that we were in is still in there. Okay, so even though you may have, how can we say it? Even though you may have renounced a certain thing, okay, if you are molded by that thing, you are still influenced by that thing. And you have to check yourself every now and then. You follow what I'm saying? To see that you don't jump back into that, okay? And the reason why I ask that question is because there is a verse that many of us probably grew up hearing. You know? And that verse is probably something like, put on the whole what? There you go. Y'all know that, don't you, right? Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand. Okay? The purpose of being able to stand is because you're at war. And we are at war. Okay? Let's move further. What is Kemetic spirituality? Because that's the part of the topic. Kemetic spirituality. Alright? Now the truth of the matter is, and technically speaking, it is redundant to say Kemetic spirituality. Why is that? Because the word, let's first deal with the word Kemetic. Okay? And forgive me for walking back and forth, but I don't have the remote working today. According to our best African scholars, the designation that is characterized by the English letters KMT means the place or land of black. That's it. Okay? When it comes to geological purposes, all right, Kemet is known as black land or the land of the blacks. As far as anthropological purposes, people from that area are considered Kemetic or black thinking people. Sociological, philosophical, you name it. So the word or the letters KMT. Now notice there are no vowels there. We write it as Kemet. Some people write it as Ka or Kham. All right? TIC. Kemetic. Okay? The reason why there are no vowels there, people, is because, first of all, we're talking English characters. English characters was not a part of the paradigm of ancient Egypt.
Repeat it again, please.
Got that? English characters was not a part of the paradigm of ancient Kemet. And we're at a handicap because we're trying to relay to you ancient African principles in English. Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? So whenever you try to describe anything African in English, you're going to mess it up. Right off the bat. Okay? Because there's nothing in the English language that can do justice to an ancient African concept. Why? Because we're using English.
Teach.
And the very language itself is a handicap.
Make it plain.
So the best we can do with our limited way of communicating is to try to give you a reasonable facsimile of what our ancestors were trying to say. Because we deal with English, we use an alphabet, English alphabet, KMT. All right, they didn't use letters KMT in ancient Egypt. Okay? We must understand that. And it's deep because sometimes us get into arguments with each other. Okay? Oh, a senseless argument over an English variation of something. Am I making sense, y'all?
Yes, sir.
Okay? So sometimes people say things to me, you know, like for example, I remember one time I was talking to somebody and we were talking about the Medunetta. So this brother who thought he was deep walked up and said, it's not the Medunetta, it's the Medunetta.
That's what go on. Yes, sir.
Now, because he was suffering from a disease that I call intellectual masturbation, I let him have his way.
That's right.
Because there's an old proverb that says, never argue with a fool. Because if anyone hears you, they won't know which one is the fool. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're talking about something that's spelled Meduneter. That was an English character. It's from an alphabet called English. I don't care how you pronounce it. Because you're still speaking English.
Yes.
It's an African concept. So look at the person here. She said, let's not get hung up over a mess like that.
Let's not get hung up over a mess like that.
So when we say Kemetic, we mean that which pertains to the way or land of black people. Spirituality may be defined as the existential relationship of cosmological people to their cosmological reality. Now, what do I mean when I say cosmological people? Cosmos, the universe, creation. Okay? We are a cosmological people. Please understand that. One of the reasons why many of us are as powerless as we are is because we don't know that. Okay? You see, religion, especially Christianity, has literally forbidden us from being who and what we are.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
It has literally taught us to avoid cosmological concepts. Don't tap in to cosmological concepts. It is witchcraft. That's what we were taught. It's evil. See, our ancestors didn't live by the Bible. Our ancestors did not even live by the Quran. Our ancestors did not live by the Talmud, the Torah, the Zenda Vesta, the Book of Vedas. They didn't live by none of these literary works. Our ancestors lived by the cosmos. That's how they lived. They made life decisions. They planted their seeds for crops. They had sex. You name it. They did everything in coordination with creation itself. And we didn't get out of balance until it came along with literature called sacred writings. Some of you call it a Bible. Others you call it a Quran or whatever you want to call it. Some of you call it an email. Spirituality, everybody say it's personal.
It's personal.
Okay, let me break that down for you right quick. Spirituality, brothers and sisters, is not corporate. And that's what we mess up in most churches. Okay, you join a church and you go through what is called a membership orientation program, which is really nothing more than brainwashing.
That's it.
That's really all it is. Because it's saying if you want to be in this church, this is what you must think. There's not an orientation program on this planet in any church that teaches you how to think.
That's right.
They only tell you what to think, or what is the doctrine in that particular church. That's why the word is called indoctrination. Am I making sense, people?
Yes, sir.
So spirituality is not corporate. In other words, it's not something that all of us in this room experience in the same way. When I have a spiritual encounter with the Creator, guess what? It's for me. It's not for